Tickets kind of meh. And the Lincoln Journal stars Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning, happy Thursday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, an early break, full show ahead. Mike Schaefer in for the 7 o'clock hour, as always. He was very fired up yesterday, Sip, about the Pete Thamel article about hot seat coaches and Scott Frost being on there. Oh, are you on? Try again. There we go. All right.
Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, Schaefer was fired up.
This is the time of year he gets really fired up, and I really enjoy it.
I read the article. I didn't think it was as bad as, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it was, I don't know. It took some liberties for sure.
Yeah.
It took some liberties. But, you know, fake news and all that. So, I mean, that's why I'm really careful what I read. I don't read Pete Thamel. I'm really careful. That's the way to be about what you got to read. People you trust, and in the media, you really have to be careful because you can get like just the part where he says in the article very casually that Nebraska is under NCAA investigation for pandemic workouts, which. I would say this about that, Jake. No, I'm not getting on my high horse.
I like the high horse.
No, listen.
I hope you do.
Okay, so Pete Thamel very casually in his Yahoo.com article says Nebraska's under NCAA investigation for pandemic workouts. Now, I guess that he's accountable to no one. That's wrong, and it's a serious error. I mean, if you're Scott Frost, or if you're Trev Alberts, or if you're an administrator at Nebraska or a coach on that staff, and you read that, you say, wait a second, we're not under investigation for that, right? Okay, now, in the old days, in the times when there was accountability in journalism,
how long ago was that? What are the old days here? When was accountability a thing?
I don't want to specify, but you would get called into an office on that and say, hey, this is a correction, and this is a bad correction. You said a school's under investigation for something that's not under investigation for. That's not a small error. You didn't misspell the coach's name, which is actually a bad error, but in this day and age, not so much. It's amazing. We all make mistakes. You make mistakes. I make mistakes in articles, but that's an egregious mistake. And I guarantee you nobody said a word to him about it.
Hey, get clicks, man. Whatever gets clicks.
Well, is that
attention.
what it is?
I suppose
No, that's not.
You know that's what people are after. Is it right? No.
But when you casually dismiss it, you're part of the problem.
I am. You're right. But that's
and I am too.
That's what they're after is the clicks. Is everything factual all the time? No. Which is sad that we live in that world where there's a lot of incorrect or non-truthful media or stuff that's written down. But I feel like for that one, for clicks purposes, some people don't care. They don't really care how much it's right or how much is a little bit of myth in that.
Well, shouldn't people care?
They should. I'm not going to tell people how to live their lives, but they should.
I'm not either.
They should care.
Anyway,
yes.
Any feedback on that?
No. By the way, last night, Trev Alberts did speak on the radio. He said that Nebraska is about 90% vaccinated right now as we head into the season.
Which he said is high end in the Big Ten in terms of vaccination rate on the upper tier. And so that's good. That's good.
And we sit here 2 days away from Husker kickoff in Illinois. We'll get this later on in the show, next segment, actually. When I hear Illinois media come on Nebraska stations, we've had several guys come on our shows throughout the last couple of days. They seem pretty confident that Illinois is going to win the football game. Mm-hmm. Usually if you have Illinois on, Nebraska will probably win by 10, 14 points. We'll keep it close for a while, but we're not good enough. They're thinking, no, they won here last year. I know that it wasn't the best performance for Nebraska, but all these guys return. they believe, they know they can beat Nebraska. They're very confident in a win for Illinois in the first game for Brett Bielema as their head coach. So we'll get to that later on in the show. It is that time, though, Sip. We have not done it yet. I want to do it today because tomorrow is more of a full Illinois preview during the show, and also we'll talk to Lee Sterling tomorrow about his thoughts in the game and other games for the weekend. But it is time that we do our official game-by-game predictions for the 2021 Nebraska football season. Are you prepared for this exercise?
I'm prepared.
Let me ask you this before we begin. Has there been any game as you've been looking at the schedule that you had an official prediction that you've been waffling on saying, I have as a win or a loss, but I feel like it might be actually be this, a win or a loss? Do you have any game that you're going back and forth on in your head?
Yes, I would say both Michigan State and Northwestern kind of fall in that category. Michigan State because it immediately follows Oklahoma. What I'm wondering is, can Nebraska go to Oklahoma, then follow with back-to-back wins at Michigan State and Northwestern? Can they win both of those, or will they win just one of those? And I think that, the way I see it is Nebraska, I don't know, I'm just going to get it right into it if you don't mind, Jake. The way I see it is Nebraska 3-1 coming out of Oklahoma. Will they get
let's go game by game, shall we? Do you want to just tease the whole thing?
Well, no.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we can
ruin the whole exercise.
We can go game by game.
Yeah, I just want to hear about your confidence level in each game. Illinois, if you did a 1 to 10, 1 is low, 10 is high. What is your confidence in Illinois, Nebraska winning?
Well, I'm predicting
Saturday's
37 to 17.
So that's changed. It's a 20-point win.
Nebraska.
20-point win.
Yeah. 37 to 17.
So that's pretty confident.
Yeah.
I am predicting a 6-point win. 30 to 24 is my guess. Uncomfortable. 30 to 24. Yep.
30. You think I think Nebraska's offense is a little bit better than that. Okay.
Fordham is a game win by 24 points or so.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Buffalo. I think Buffalo's a scary game. I think they're going to win the game. And
I don't think it's scary.
I think it's going to be one that you hope that you're 2-0 in, that you're not looking forward to Oklahoma and you keep your eyes focused on Buffalo, but I think you should win that game by 10 points.
I think you're giving Buffalo too much credit.
Well,
Buffalo
will do that.
Lost a ton. Their coach started on May 7th. I think you have to take that into account.
Well, I say a 10-point win. Uncomfortable, but a win. And then you head to Oklahoma 3-0. Is there any chance of a close game in Norman, Sip? Or
yes.
Are you giving us a resounding win for the Sooners?
I think Nebraska can hang in there with its defense. I don't think it'll be particularly close in the end. 21-point Oklahoma win.
Okay.
I'd say something along the lines of 47 minus 21, whatever that is.
47 to 26.
Yeah,
it's a strange score.
Yeah, something like that.
Strange score.
Okay, 47-24. How about that?
Okay, that's possible. Yeah, I think somewhere in the 14 to 24 point range.
Okay, so where are we
now?
Right now?
Now we're 3-1.
Okay, now we're officially 3-1.
Yeah, and now we can move on to Michigan State, who is the road game that follows Oklahoma, which you have waffled on going back and forth as far as do you believe they'll win that game or not. Where do you stand today on your belief for Nebraska in that football game, following what you would say would be a double-digit point loss to Oklahoma on the road?
Okay, here's the deal. It's really tough to go on the road back-to-back.
It is.
And
absolutely.
Now, Michigan State, they're not great. Okay, in fact, we've talked about this, but the Lindy's magazine that I use all the time ranks Michigan State as the 14th best team in the Big Ten. They were unsettled through most of the offseason at quarterback. I don't know exactly where they are with that right now. They have had one of the conference weakest offensive lines each of the past 3 years.
You don't want that.
No, and it's not. Well, so you got a weak offensive line in an unsettled quarterback situation. The team was 2-5 last year. Now, the scary kind of part about Michigan State, though, is their defensive line is highly regarded. Their defensive line is, according to this magazine, is deep, experienced, and talented with the goods to maintain the program's tradition of stonewalling opposing run games.
That is a tradition. They have typically had very good defenses and good defensive lines in that.
Yes,
That's true.
So if Nebraska goes there against a strong defensive line and is not putting up any points, and you know what Michigan State's going to do, Jake? They're gonna bleed clock, right? All of a sudden, that game's going to move fast. If you get down early, you might look up midway through the fourth quarter and say, guys, we're down 7, against a team that we're better than. Nebraska's better than, but the game is scary because it follows a huge game in Oklahoma. And it's a back-to-back road game situation. So I'll pick Nebraska to win a very close game.
Did you remember we talked about the ESPN FPI before, the Football Power Index?
Yeah.
They posted their thoughts on the season earlier this month. They give Michigan State a 61% chance of winning that football game against Nebraska.
That's really, really, really surprising to me. Well, now who are you picking? We both have Nebraska at 3-1 right now going into Michigan State.
Can you repeat?
I'm saying 4-1.
And what's your score? Tight, low
21-17.
Yeah, definitely low scoring with that defense. Gosh, I like that score.
21-17.
I think Nebraska wins. I don't feel great about it, as you don't either, because you're going back and forth in your daily thoughts on it. But I think a very similar score, like let's go even lower, 17-14, 3-point win, something super low.
Okay, so it's critical. It's a critical game as you're predicting Nebraska's season, because it's like it's kind of a swing game.
Sure, it is.
Game. Okay, and the next one I think is too. What do you do with Northwestern? There's a lot of unknowns with Northwestern because they have so much new personnel. But okay, it's on your home field.
That's right, which hasn't mattered a lot. You've been 9-14 in that home field,
right?
The last 4 years, 3 years,
right? Since Northern Illinois,
yeah,
since Northern Illinois in 2017.
So you can usually say, "Oh, home field's great," and it should be, but it has not been great for Nebraska.
Northwestern has only 11 returning starters. 11 returning starters, Jake. Now think about this.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to give you 3 facts. 11 returning starters, a new quarterback, Hunter Johnson, and a new defensive coordinator. Who should have the advantage?
I'd say Nebraska should.
Nebraska has the advantage in returning starters. They have one of those returning starters is a 4th-year starter at quarterback, and Nebraska's had staff stability. Who should win the game?
Nebraska should. With that being said,
pick them.
They have had a lot of issues at home against Northwestern.
Pick them. Don't talk yourself out of it.
I'm going to take Northwestern to win that game.
I need a reason.
I trust them more than I trust Nebraska. And I think they always play. There's been one game that's not been a close game, and Nebraska won that by 21 points or 17 at Evanston with Bo Pelini, I think 2014. Otherwise, it's always been close, and Nebraska needs to prove, and I have them winning a close game against Michigan State, so that's something where I'm kind of going against my point here. But I think Northwestern typically, they win close games. Nebraska typically finds a way to lose them.
Northwestern lost not only their quarterback, but their 4 top receivers and 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah, they lost a lot. There's every reason to pick Nebraska. I want to.
I'm picking Nebraska. So I got Nebraska at 5-1.
Hello.
5-1.
And I'm at 4-2, which is fine.
Yeah, 5-1 going into the second half of the schedule. Now, here's the thing. When I picked in the paper, I basically said that they might lose one of those games, Michigan State or Northwestern, and that will determine 7-5 or 8-4. So you kind of see where I'm going.
I agree with that.
But we'll keep forging ahead here.
All right. So
game to game, as you wanted to do, and
I do.
And you We're
Make
very
a dang
critical
sure
of
of
me.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make a dang. Well, I feel like it's disrespectful to the teams you're playing who have beaten you, the likes of Illinois, to just surpass them and go right to game 5. That's why I said that.
Yeah, you weren't critical. You just put your foot down
I did.
on my throat.
All right.
Okay, so now we
October 9th, Nebraska hosts the Michigan Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh. I have them losing the game before that to Northwestern. You have them winning against Northwestern at 5-1. Do they keep it going against the Wolverines, who are uncertain right now?
Well, again, I mean, Michigan, I've looked at Michigan pretty closely. They have a revamped coaching staff, including a new defensive coordinator. Okay, another team with a new defensive coordinator. They don't have that. You know what they don't have, Jake? They don't have that receiver that really scares you. You know, they don't have a guy that, I don't even know if they have a running back that really scares you. Hassan Haskins is certainly capable. He had he averaged 6.2 yards a carry last year. But, you know, I mean, he's good. He's fine. And they're good. But, I mean, Jake, they were 2-4 last year. 2-4. They're not.
And they should have been 1-5. They barely beat Rutgers in triple overtime to get one of those 2 wins.
Yeah, and Harbaugh is on a serious hot seat. I mean, he's down to $4 million a year. And you know what his buyout is? Do you know what his buyout is?
I'd like to know.
What is it?
I'd like to know. I have no idea.
It's $4 million.
Oof.
It's nothing.
That's not much.
There's 2 boosters could handle that.
That's
maybe
not,
one.
That's not 20 mil. That's $4 mil.
$4 million is his buyout. I mean, his back is to the proverbial wall. I take Nebraska in a close game. 6-1.
So you have them bowl eligible by October 9th.
Yep. Now, that's all I'm going to say right now.
Okay. Concerned about this game also.
Yeah, me too.
Like you said, they don't appear to be that impressive of a football team.
No.
McNamara, maybe he lights it up. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe he's really good.
I liked him. I did like him against Rutgers.
Maybe in a full season he's a different quarterback and he starts off strong and they're a surprise team in the East.
Cade McNamara.
But the defense, Don Brown's gone. My boy Don Brown, really, the star really faded there quickly for him.
They have a new defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald, who has very limited college experience. He comes from the Baltimore Ravens. He was the Baltimore Ravens linebackers coach, Jake. I don't know. What's that tell you? You know what they do, though? They have experience up front on defense. And they do have 4 starters on the offensive line. So they'll be pretty good up front, I think.
So here's what's going to happen. I've got 2 predictions. I'm going to go with one of them, though. My head tells me Michigan. My heart tells me Nebraska. I will go with my heart on this one, and Nebraska will win this one. Another close game, 24-21.
All right. Now, now people are at this point saying, mostly about me, Sipple, you're just doused in Kool-Aid and it gets so old. Well, this is the game where I tell you that I'm not doused in Kool-Aid, and it's at Minnesota, and I love Minnesota in this game.
Can I ask you a question before we predict it?
What?
At 6-1, is Nebraska football ranked in the top 25?
Yes. Okay. Yes. And then what happens, unfortunately, is they go to Minnesota with staring at a bye week. They don't get a bye week after Michigan. They get one after Minnesota, and it's going to suck because Minnesota is going to do what Minnesota does to Nebraska. It'll probably be a game that looks a little bit like 2019.
Oof, really?
Yes.
That bad?
I think
They
could.
smoked Nebraska that day.
I don't think they'll run the ball as well as they did that night, because I like Nebraska's run defense, but I just think I just love Minnesota to win that game. I'll say Minnesota like a 34-21 game.
13-point win.
Yeah.
I hate agreeing with you on all these things. I think Minnesota also wins that game. Nebraska certainly can win that game. They shouldn't go in totally scared of the Gophers, but that's a tough team for them recently. They've been beating Minnesota.
Minnesota seems to have Nebraska's number a little bit.
Well, Scott Frost killed them his first year in the conference, and the next 2 years it's been rough against them, including last year's embarrassing loss with 33 guys lost to COVID for Minnesota, and still they won the game here in Lincoln.
I thought if you pick which was the worst loss between 2019 and 2020, Minnesota, Nebraska, I still say it's the 2019 game.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that
was a really good football team, though. They
I know,
won
but-
11 games.
But that game took a lot of steam out of Nebraska.
I'm not denying that.
They got pushed around. They got bullied that game.
They are both bad losses. I think last year's was worse because they had all these guys gone. They were down 33 players and they had a terrible rush defense still, and they still won the football game.
Right.
That's why 2019. I'm not saying that wasn't a bad loss. It was, and it did kill the season. But because of last year, what the situation was with their COVID and their team not being as good in general, that was a worse loss for me.
I just love Minnesota in that game.
I'll take the Gophers, similar to you, but I'm going to take it by 10, 31-21.
So Nebraska's going to have to lick its wounds during the bye week after that.
So you have them at 6-2. I have them at 5-3. Nebraska, for me, needs one more game to get bowl eligible. And your best chance is the next one after a bye week, home against Purdue. Sip.
Right.
Any concerns about that? I'm concerned. David Bell is always a problem. Nebraska's defense should be able to keep him somewhat in check, not completely.
Nebraska didn't even play that well last year and won on Purdue's home field. Nebraska beat them 37-27 last year. I didn't played well at times.
They played pretty well.
Played well at times. Played well at times. Yeah. David Bell concerns you. Hard to know exactly what they're going to do at quarterback. Once again, new defensive coordinator. It seems like Braum is reeling a little bit. He's 19-25 in 4 years. I think he's now on his third defensive coordinator. He is. I just don't think they're ready to go into Lincoln and win. So I got Nebraska at 7-2 against my better judgment.
Yeah, this is one where you get it. If they do get pushed around by Minnesota 2 weeks before, they have the bye week in between that.
It's tempting. It's tempting.
You wonder
to pick
how
an upset.
you wonder how they come back from that if they do get beat down by Minnesota after a good start to the season, as you had before that. Do they come in flat after that, or they come in pissed off, trying to say that was not going to happen again?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where their mentality is at that point, but I think Nebraska should win that game. That gets them, to me, bowl eligible heading into the 3 tough games in November, which you can breathe a sigh of relief saying we don't have to win one of those games to go to a bowl game, but you still want to win those games to finish the season strong.
Okay.
So you're 7-2. I'm 6-3 heading to Ohio State.
Yeah,
Lincoln.
we're basically on the same page almost exactly, because I'm a shaky 7-2. I mean, I'm like, there's a few games in there that could go either way. I got them at 7-2, but I don't like them against Ohio State at all. I don't. I'd like to say, yeah, come on, Jake. I mean, they can push Ohio. Nah, this is not good. Ohio State appears to be loaded up big time. You saw you saw what PJ Fleck said about the receiving corps. PJ Fleck said the other day, it's the best bunch of receivers I've ever seen on one team. Now, he didn't specify NFL or college, but I wonder if he meant one team, period.
Did he watch Alabama last year?
Who
had two top 15 receivers?
I bet he did.
I'm not saying I love Olave, I love Wilson as well, and
it's not just them.
Najigba,
and it's Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah,
it's Jeremy Rucker at tight end.
They are deep. They are stacked. They are talented. They are deep.
And there's a guy named Fleming, a 5-star, Julius Fleming. I mean,
loaded up.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't concede that Alabama had better receivers than them. I don't.
They had the Heisman Trophy winner, and they had a guy who went higher than him in the draft,
right.
Jalen Waddle at number 6. So I mean,
and Michie.
And John Michie. Yep. So you have Ohio State winning by
easily, comfortably.
Okay, by 20 plus.
Yeah. As I've said it 2 or 3 times. Nebraska needs to pray for sleet, raining,
ice storm, baby,
ice rain. Can
you predict an ice storm today? I am predicting an ice storm for Nebraska, Ohio State.
It's their only hope. Something that evens out the playing field.
I'd say Buckeyes by 24.
Okay. Yeah.
48-24.
That'd be good. Like That'd be good. I mean,
it'd be good. Bye week. So
Julian Fleming is who I'm talking
2
about.
games to go. Wisconsin and then Iowa. You have Wisconsin on the road on November 20th.
Hold on a second. I'm going back to Ohio State's receiver.
Oh, okay.
We forget guys like Julian Fleming, who was a 5-star player. He was a 5-star player coming out of high school. I know I don't put a big emphasis on stars. That's a 6'2", 205-pound 5-star. That's probably their 5th best receiver. Hello.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice to have a
Trayvon
5-star as
Henderson?
a 5th receiver?
People are talking about Trayvon Henderson like he's the next Barkley. Saquon.
It just makes me believe that nobody truly is catching up to Ohio State in this conference.
Totally agree.
We're talking about how Nebraska can do in the West, and you just see this monster that just gets getting stronger and stronger and pulls away from the pack. Although you think you're getting better, they're getting better at a rapid pace.
Okay, so you're at 6-3.
No.
Hold on.
I'm at 6-4. 6-4.
Yeah.
6-4 as we head into Wisconsin after the bye week.
I'm 7-3.
All right.
And I'm 7-4 now because I just don't think. I think Wisconsin's defense, coupled with the crowd at Camp Randall, it might be enough to win for Wisconsin to win a fairly close game. I'd say like 24-21-ish. But I'd really like Wisconsin to win. Close game.
Here's my tease, because we're going to pick these games. Nebraska is going to end one of these skids this year. They're going to either end the Wisconsin skid or the Iowa skid. It's going to happen.
Wisconsin.
It's not going to be Wisconsin, so there's your tease for the Iowa game.
Right. Wisconsin has an elite defense. I mean, we're talking about a defense that last year was 5th nationally, and I think will be better. They have 8 guys back on a defense that was number 5 nationally last year.
That's helpful.
It's an elite defense. It's Jack Sanborn. It's Leo Chanel, the middle linebacker. It's Scott Nelson, who I really like at safety. Now they did lose Garrett Rand up front, and you know this name, Isaiah Loudermilk.
Loudermilk, big guy.
They did lose those, but they have a nose guard named Keanu Benton, who their defensive line coach said not many guys come through here with the talent and ability and the ceiling that Keanu Benton has. So they'll have a beast in the middle. They have great linebackers across the board. They have an excellent secondary. I just think that coupled with that crowd, and I think Wisconsin, Jake, at that point of the year, they could be playing for a spot in the college football playoff at that point.
But then they'll have the problem of playing potentially
Ohio
State in the Big Ten championship and maybe have that completely wrecked.
Right. True.
Okay, so you and I both have a Wisconsin win by at least 10 points. I do, at least. I think by probably 10.
Yeah. So I'm
14 points. I'm going to go Wisconsin 35-21 against Nebraska.
I think it'll be a little closer, but I don't like Nebraska to win. Okay, so
here we've reached the conclusion of the season. You and I are both heading into Iowa. That Nebraska is bowl eligible. I have them at 6-5 right now. You're at 7-4.
7-4. We're essentially on the same page. I just got a little nudge. I give them a little nudge because I got them winning both Michigan State and Northwestern, but not with a lot of confidence winning both those games.
So I just teased a few minutes ago that I think Nebraska ends a skid this year. They have been so close to beating Iowa the last couple years. They're going to end the season this year on a positive note. They're already bowl eligible. You're not fighting for a bowl game. This is just to get a notch on your belt, get a 7th win, end a skid. They will beat Iowa by 7 in Lincoln, and they're going to go into a bowl game feeling decent about themselves.
I'd say really good if they beat Iowa and they're going into a bowl game. They'd feel really good about themselves. At 7-5.
7-5.
Yeah, and I think they'll beat Iowa as well. Now, why? Why do I think they'll beat Iowa? Iowa's lost a lot in the trenches. Davion Nixon gone. Golston's gone. Their offensive line, they have the best center in the country, arguably. They lost a left guard. Now he's probably be back in time for Nebraska. In fact, he might only miss a couple games. But they lost a lot on their offensive line, too. I don't think they'll be as strong up front as you typically associate Iowa with, okay? But in Petrus, I think is I like him. I don't mind Petrus, and he played well down the stretch last year, Jake. I like the guy. He's a good leader. Watch his body language. He's always upbeat. I think he he's a gamer. He's not ever going to go away. He's just limited. Doesn't have very high ceiling, I don't think. His good is good.
He's never going to scare you.
No.
You don't go to a game fearful of what is Petrus going to do to our defense.
Yeah, I don't like to pick these games too casually. It'll be a bitch to beat Iowa. It will be. They want
I didn't
you
deny
bad.
that.
They want you bad.
Every year.
Yeah, Iowa plays with a little harder edge, it seems like, against Nebraska than Nebraska plays against Iowa. And they got to change that.
That needs to change this year immediately.
So when I say they're going to finish with 8 wins or 7 wins, we're assuming a lot here, Jake. We're assuming that Scott's right when he says leadership's better. We're assuming that this team will hold in there when things aren't good, because things aren't going to be good a lot of the time because they're not, they're going to be in a lot of close games. You're going to learn a lot on Saturday about what Nebraska's got in terms of moxie, because Illinois is going to make it really tough.
Right. I want to be very clear that my thoughts on the season change a lot if they lose that game on Saturday.
Of course.
I'd revisit every single game.
Yeah.
And say, well, this is what I think now about that.
These predictions we do because we have to do them, but I don't do them with a lot of confidence anymore. I mean, we're assuming a lot.
I don't know how you could.
Right. We're assuming a lot. I think that Nebraska's roster is better. I think Scott's put the roster into pretty good shape. But listen, if I were hanging around Illinois roster all the time, I might think the same thing. And you like you said, all those guys, 4 media members from Illinois have come on
here in a second.
Have come on the show this week and picked Illinois. You're talking about, limited context, right? I try to survey it, and I think Nebraska's pretty good, obviously. So do you, obviously.
7-5 is respectable. Yeah. It's not great, but it's good enough.
Get you to a bowl game.
Get you to a bowl game and
I don't know
build
what
on
that gets
that.
you to. Does that get you a red box
bowl possibly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. Hey, a bowl game is a bowl game for a team that hasn't been there since 2016. As you mentioned, Sip, a lot of people from Illinois are pretty confident about an Illini win. Are you surprised at the confidence coming from that fan base and media core? That's up next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
We're in this together, and we will get through this together. The vaccines are tested effective and needed.
Welcome to the clinic. Which arm?
Get your COVID-19 vaccine so we can do this. And this. And this.
We are now boarding flight.
Together again, because we got through it together. This message sponsored by the Helmsley Charitable Trust, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and the station.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
With today's Husker Radio Report, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. What will Nebraska's defense see against Illinois? As defensive coordinator Eric Chinander said, all they can do is guess and study everything that's out there.
Coach Bielema is a defensive guy, so I think the most thing that you have to be aware of is his head coaching style. And, his clock management, how he wants the team to look. And we've got some good samples from that from Wisconsin and Arkansas, and obviously he's been with the Patriots and the Giants. But that's more of it, just how does he want to manage this thing? Is he going to let this thing be wide open? Is he going to control the clock? What are they going to do situationally? But that's the biggest thing to look at. And obviously Coach Bielema was a coach at Iowa when I was there. He coached my brother. So I do know him pretty well. But he's been an excellent head coach in the Big Ten before. So we really got to get ready for his style.
Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the summer with peaches and cream cheese. Great on any bagel. Don't forget their delicious breakfast burritos and sandwiches, and grab a business box of bagels for the work crew. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
When everything is changing, you need a store that's a constant. A store that has the brands your family loves and the value that you need. A store where you can stock up, pick up, and drive up. A store that's close to home and feels like home. A store that puts the health and safety of you and your family above all else. And a store that's always here to help. At Kohl's, we don't know what next year will look like. We just know that we'll be here for you no matter what. Kohl's, here today, here to stay. See store or Kohls.com for details.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
T.O. Haas Tire and Auto.
T.O. Haas Tire reminds you there's still plenty of summer left for one more long weekend, one more day in the sun, or one more getaway drive down your favorite road to enjoy one last stretch of summer. And we're here to help with up to $100 back on a new set of Michelin tires, including the all-new Cross Climate 2.
T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Been listening to all of our local shows this week. I encourage you guys to do that as well here on The Ticket. And we've had several different Illinois writers on the shows. I heard on Tuesday, Jeremy Werner of 24/7 Sports for the Illini was on with Tom and Bach, and he predicted a 24-20 Illinois win and just kind of a comfortable game, he said, for them. Like nothing that they'd be overly pushed in. A close game via the score, but something where he says that Illinois controls the clock and the game, basically.
Yeah, interesting.
I heard one other guy, I forget who it was, the other day, or yesterday, I think, that was on one of our shows that was saying he thinks Illinois wins by 10 points against Nebraska.
And then there's a guy for fansided.com.
Like we said yesterday, that would be shocked if Illinois did not score 40 points or more on Saturday against Nebraska.
You would be shocked if Illinois doesn't score 40 points. Well, you can't really make fun of him because they scored 41 last year.
They did.
Really? And I'm not in the business of making fun of anybody's predictions because, that table can turn really quickly. Jake, I know what I predicted. I feel good. I feel good about it.
Are you surprised about the amount of confidence coming from Illinois?
Not really.
Do you think it would be this way if Nebraska had won even a close game last year against them?
Okay, now I have to explain why I'm not really surprised.
Okay, please do.
Well, because Illinois won last year.
Handily. 18
because
points.
Illinois has 22 super seniors. Three of those are on the offensive line. Those guys have 35 plus starts apiece. They have every guy that ran the ball last year back, including Blake Hayes, the punter. They have a new coach who I think is better than the previous one. They'll have energy because of that. Now there's there's some limitations because it's still guys getting used to systems. Home field. So that's why I'm not surprised. I mean, and I'm not surprised because local media are limited in context. Those guys can't know exactly what Nebraska has, just like I can't know exactly what Illinois has. By the way, I don't think there's going to be a big crowd there from what I'm hearing. Half the stadium, 30,000. So I don't know that'll be a big factor.
What's the standard crowd at Illinois when you go there? Less than that?
Oh, less than that.
Way less?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, yeah, there's if the stands are half full, it seems like a good crowd at Illinois.
Well, you have to realize, and we pointed this out yesterday, that the last 2 years, this Illinois football team, they beat Nebraska by 18, and they could have beat them 2 years ago, despite Nebraska having 1,000,000 yards. They only won by 4 points, 42-38 in Champaign. They were right there, had a chance to beat Nebraska then.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So if that's what the fans and media are going off of, I understand fully why they're confident in the ability to beat Nebraska this weekend.
Sure. We're counting on Nebraska to be better, right?
But I'm counting on Nebraska not having 5 turnovers in the game.
Right. So
that shouldn't be like, oh, okay, Jake, it's 5 turnovers.
No, not only that, but Nebraska's -8 in the last 2 games against Illinois. Now that's got to change, right? When I pick Nebraska, I'm not picking them thinking they're going to go -3, -4, -5 in the turnover category. If they're even in the turnover category, I really like Nebraska to win. If they can stay even in the turnover category.
Yes, I agree with you.
As opposed to -9. I've talked about this, but I mean, Illinois had an average starting field position that was 15 yards better than Nebraska in 2019. Last year, it was 7 yards better. A lot of that's turnovers. I mean, that's because of the turnovers. But if you erase that stuff, Nebraska should be okay. If Nebraska's receiving core is as good as I think, Nebraska should be okay. I don't think Nebraska has. I mean, I'm more confident in the receiving core than I am in the running backs, but I think the running backs could be okay. At least they have a bunch now. Again, last year, they didn't even really line up with the running back against Illinois last year. You have to take that into account. McCaffrey ran the ball 26 times. He ran the ball 21 times in the first half.
Yep, 21 times in the first half.
It was a skew last year. Everything was a skew. And then, add to the fact that what did Chinander say? Chinander had 2 game plans, 2 defensive game plans, one for Brandon Peters and one for Williams, the running quarterback.
Isaiah Williams.
Yeah, Isaiah Williams. He had 2 defensive game plans. He said that was a huge mistake. Think about that. Those kids aren't committed to one thing. They're committed. They have to choose. Basically, they're committed to 2. And Chinander admitted it. That was an error. We have 2 calls.
Yeah, we do. Well, one's Rick Heyman for his song of the day.
John.
But before that, I like this text from Jim and O'Neill on the text line.
Hello,
John.
O'Neill.
Jim.
I know, but I like O'Neill.
He says, counting on Nebraska to not have a bunch of turnovers right now is like expecting my 6-year-old to pick broccoli instead of French fries. They have to prove it to me.
Yeah.
It's a fair take.
Fair take.
John, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
Good, John. And you?
Oh,
what's up?
I'm good. Waiting for the game to start on Saturday.
Yeah, well, we got a little bit to go here.
If you're Illinois, why wouldn't you be confident? they did whatever they wanted last year.
Yeah,
they could
pretty
run it.
Yeah.
They could stop us. They ran a fake punt. They should be confident.
Right.
And as fans, we should be scared because we as a team didn't do a whole lot last year to prove to us that they could stop anything. And I think that we're a better team. I do believe that we are going to win. But as an Illinois player, as an Illinois writer, as an Illinois fan, you have every right and to think, yeah, we're going to do this because we did this last year. And until we show up and can stop them, why wouldn't you think that way?
Okay,
So,
John.
guys,
Thanks for
Okay,
calling, Sean.
I'll tell you one thing. Well, there's a lot, but one thing maybe above all that Nebraska fans don't want to see. This might be above all. Correct me if I'm wrong. One thing above all that Nebraska fans don't want to see in this game is Nebraska get out-coached.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
You don't want to see
Don't
that
get
either.
out-coached. This is a first-year coach at Illinois. Now, Bielema's not a first-year head coach. He's a seasoned head coach. But it's his first year in the operation.
With the new staff.
With the new staff. You have your staff largely together for 4 years. You should have an advantage. Okay?
Yep.
Don't get out-coached. Don't get discernibly out-coached where Steve Sipple, a layman, can watch the game and say, holy God, Illinois out-coached them. No, don't do that.
Yeah, I don't want that conversation.
I mean, I don't consider, I mean, this is horrible. You're going to kill me for saying it. I don't consider myself a football expert. I can pick up things, though. I've faked it for 30 years. And I can tell when a team gets out-coached. And you don't let that happen. There's no reason to let that happen. Hello?
That'd be
Hello?
incredibly disappointing if you, in your 4th year as a head coach with your staff, to be out-coached in the first game with the new staff at school, Illinois.
You should be better prepared for everything.
I agree. Rick Heyman's Song of the Day is up next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Everyone loves a good deal, and there's plenty of great options right now at Brown Shoe Fit for their summer clearance sale. Check out their multiple sizes and widths and sandals with brands like Clark's, Keen, Atrex, and many more. Hurry in for the best selection because this sale only goes to the end of the month. It's the summer clearance sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at koppelcars.com. I found a vehicle I liked, then I drove that money-saving mile to Koppel in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at koppelcars.com.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
Century Electric is now hiring for experienced licensed electricians. This position will serve around the Lincoln area on both commercial and residential jobs. Century Electric is well established with 40 years in operation. It offers a substantial hiring bonus as well as tons of benefits. For more information or to apply, go online to centuryelectric.com and click the careers tab or call them at 402-467-5550. Come work for a great company today with Century Electric, whose commitment is always to their customers.
At Gaina Trucking, you can make a better income, a better career, and a better life. Gaina Trucking and Excavating is now hiring Class A and B CDL drivers. Careers include amazing benefits with a 401k, healthcare, paid vacations, annual raises, and so much more. 40-hour work weeks guaranteed year-round. To be a part of this amazing career opportunity, apply online at GainaTrucking.com. Don't miss our team culture, benefits, and a career that will give you a better life. Be better at Gaina Trucking and Excavating.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Another scorcher on the way for our Thursday. We'll see a heat advisory in effect this afternoon. We'll top out near 98. It will feel closer to 105 at times. South winds at around 15. We'll see a low tonight down to around 76. We will stay rather warm tomorrow with a high of 96. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
New owners means new lunch specials at the Fox Bar and Grill. They've just introduced tons of options on their new under $10 lunch menu. Small nachos grande, a classic cheeseburger, 4 boneless or traditional wings and fries, or a small single topping pizza for just $5 each. Try the mushroom Swiss burger or the pepper jack stack burger for just $6. And for just $7, try any of the classic steak Philly, club wrap, grilled chicken salad, or grilled southwestern salad. It's the under $10 lunch menu at the Fox Bar and Grill, just south of 14th and Pine Lake.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air's motto is our family serving yours. That starts with how we hire. We go through an extensive interview process to really get to know you and show you who we are. We want to help you build a great career, be challenged, have fun, and bring home an excellent weekly paycheck. We offer competitive wages with benefits, including a day off for your birthday. Apply to be a part of the John Henry's family at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Move over, Jake.
I'm moving. Jeez.
Thursdays are reserved for a man with a wider range of music knowledge than Jake could ever dream of.
Guy should be on Mount Rushmore of famous, fabulous, incredible musicians, singer-songwriters.
A man who knows a good song when he hears it, just as much as a good diamond when he sees it.
You get a diamond.
Yes, I do get
Brilliant.
a diamond. I get a diamond, and that makes me happy.
It's time for Rick Heyman's Song of the Day, sponsored by Sartor Heyman Jewelers, on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket.
Disgrace. I rearrange your liver to the solid mental place. Retrieve it all with music that can quickly from afar. Then taste the fruit of memory, recording, losing all against the hour. An assassin points to know and eating every single one. A cube of can exalt us like the music of the song.
Song of the day for Rick Heyman, number 3 on the countdown. Sip.
All-time album.
Of his all-time albums. Close to the Edge by Yes. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day. Once again, your Song of the Day, number 3 on Rick Heyman's all-time favorite albums, his personal favorite albums. That is the song Close to the Edge by Yes.
Okay, a couple things. Close to the Edge, very fitting for this time period in America. Close to the Edge. I'm very close to the edge. I would say that is fascinating that he has Yes, a band you don't think about all that often, as his number 3 album of all time.
Okay.
I'll give the song. Yes has always intrigued me, as you know. I mention them sometimes. I've always been intrigued by them. They remind me of Rush.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of those bands like almost in the same vein. I'll give that song a solid 8 because it's you can tell it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's very well constructed. Let's just put it.
Yeah, I'll go with the 7.
Okay. What is we got? Hey, before we get to Rick,
Harrison.
We haven't even introduced Harrison.
Harrison,
today.
hello, good morning, Harrison, the EP. I don't
know what Jake's doing.
Harrison, the EP. We're happy to have him here. Harry, Indy, Dr. Jones.
Why do you gloss over
the
Harrison?
Patriot? I'm not.
Patriot's very quiet, so it's easy to overlook.
I'm gonna guess like a 3.
Yeah, 3. I'm saying 3.
7.5. That's his highest rating he's ever given.
See what he said.
Trippy tune. Rick, we're joined now by Rick Heyman, Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Good morning, Rick. You finally got a good score out of Harrison. You did it.
He knows what's going on.
My
trippy
goodness.
tune, he
Wow.
said.
I am shocked.
Harrison, trippy tune.
This is unbelievable.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good job, Harrison. Guys, you're looking very sporty this morning.
Thank you.
Yes.
We miss you in
okay.
here. We miss you in here.
Well, I miss you too. Hey, Close to the Edge, number 3 greatest album of all time. I know you guys are a little jammed up for time here. I'll make it short and sweet.
Okay.
This record, this is one you got to sit down and listen to with your headphones on. Okay.
Okay.
This isn't some little pop deal. You got to pay attention to this.
Okay, Bon Jovi.
As a matter of fact, Bill Bruford, the drummer at the time, found the album so laborious to make, laborious, he had to leave the band after this. That's how intense it was.
Wow.
Okay, and I'm going to post on my personal Facebook, Rick Heyman, after the show. Go watch. I'm going to post a couple links here. I'll post a live link of them playing this live, and then Jamel, a.k.a. Jamal, an African-American guy who heard the song for the very first time under headphones, and see what he said. Okay, platinum record, unbelievable, finished number 3, 1972 on the Billboard charts. There's so much trivia about this record, we don't have time. I'll post some of it on my Facebook, but they basically built an entire stage in the studio to replicate their live performances.
God, no
kidding. They were so great.
Man.
And the reason they called it Close to the Edge was that Buford, at the end of this, said they were all close to the edge. Like you said, Steph. It was so intense to record.
Yeah.
In fact, it was so intense that they had to record their rehearsals so they could remember what they had written the day before. Just crazy talented. And they play this live just like that.
God.
That'd be pretty
You
sweet.
said something fascinating there, that they build a stage in the studio to replicate their live performance.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
That's awesome.
That's dedication. That's all that says to me.
Yep. Okay. So some fake news and reviews. Close to the Edge received favorable reviews. In September of '72, Ian McDonald said, "Not just Close to the Edge, they've gone right over it. They played their blank guts out on this album." He said, "On every level but the ordinary aesthetic one, it's one of the most remarkable records ever produced."
Hello.
Henry Mendoza said, "Not since Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band has there been one side of an album that expressed such a complete and exciting musical thought." That's this side. They were light years ahead of their emulators. By the way, Rush was after Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Rush, and that's not to diminish Rush, but Yes was long before them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, next week we got number 2, and then we got number 1. Time for some stuff to sippers.
Okay, Rick.
Are they all still alive? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes for yes. You get a CZ. Chris Squire, the bass player and singer, died last year or the year before. Tragic.
No.
Were they all vegans?
There's a question. I'm going to say no.
You get a diamond. Rick Wakeman, the keyboard player, was not. He tells some funny stories about that.
Okay.
I had another stuff to sipper, but you guys already answered that question about the spread of the first game. Anyway, that's all I got today.
Hey, Rick, that was fascinating. You have Yes number 3 on your all-time albums. I'll be
I
damned.
do.
Close to the Edge was the song.
Close to the Edge.
Close
Down
to
by
the
the
Edge.
river.
Yeah, I totally can relate with Close to the Edge. Trust me.
Last thing, Rick, what is going on right now at Sartor Heyman Jewelers?
We have the most exciting promo that we did it one time about 3 years ago. We are giving away a free Traeger grill if you spend $2,500 or more in the store. Hey, tailgating is back, right?
It is.
We think.
Yes.
Oh, you
So,
can tailgate.
hey, if you got to get your gal something, get a Traeger grill. They're in the store. Come on down. Check us out in Lincoln and Grand Island. Again, check us out at Sartor Heyman on Facebook, SartorHeyman.com. And check me out at Rick Heyman on Facebook. Follow me, and I'm going to post a lot of good stuff about this record on there.
You know what? Get 2 grills. I mean,
why not?
Yeah, why not get 2 Traegers?
Yeah.
That sounds like a great
2
time.
Traeger grills. If one
Why not?
malfunctions, you have one ready, like a quarterback.
got it.
Like a
Absolutely.
quarterback, like a backup quarterback.
Yes,
I
wonderful.
like it.
All right.
Rick, always great stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week for number 2.
Bye-bye.
There he goes. Rick
Yes.
Heyman, Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
I'm a little bit a little freaked out that he has yes number 3 all time.
What could be number 2 and 1? Is it the Beatles?
Yeah.
Is there Tom Petty involved?
No, I don't.
I don't think so.
No, his musical. You know what he is big on, Rick? Theatrical
He is,
bands.
yeah.
I don't say Tom Petty's not theatrical. Very simplistic.
Beatles might be in there.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Sgt. Pepper.
An hour of Mike Schaefer next on Early Break in the Ticket.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Developed by CDC.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the summer with peaches and cream cheese. Great on any bagel. Don't forget their delicious breakfast burritos and sandwiches, and grab a business box of bagels for the work crew. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Tailgating is back, and Sartor Heyman Jewelers is offering a deal that'll really fire you up. Receive a free Traeger grill with a purchase of $2,500 or more. Take advantage of interest-free financing with no money down. Sartor Heyman has dazzling jewelry in every price range, so buy her the diamonds she's been dreaming of and get instantly rewarded with a free Traeger grill. Offer ends soon, so hurry in and get them while they're hot. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Everyone loves a good deal, and there's plenty of great options right now at Brown Shoe Fit for their summer clearance sale. Check out their multiple sizes and widths in sandals with brands like Clark's, Keen, Atrex, and many more. Hurry in for the best selection because this sale only goes to the end of the month. It's the summer clearance sale at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
We take our college football Saturdays so seriously at 93.7 The Ticket that one post-game show simply isn't enough. Join Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and DP for The Ticket postgame. 90 minutes following each Nebraska game at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. They'll break down the game from their vantage point and bring in special guests as well, with giveaways to listeners who drop by. It's The Ticket postgame with Jay Foreman and DP at Tanner's Bar and Grill. Sponsored by Action Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning and Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance. This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Week 0 scores are in while other high school teams are getting ready to suit up for their first game. The Lincoln North Star Navigators secured their first win in their season opener against Hastings, 23-14. After being down by as much as 14 due to turnovers, they rallied back in the second half for the win. In other Week 0 matchups, Cross County came out against Blue Hill 86-8. Laurel Concord Courage beat Homer 62-0. And Sandy Creek came out on top against Schuyler 24-0. In season openers this week on Friday, Lincoln High will face Lincoln North Star, Fremont will play at Lincoln Northeast, Gretna will play at Lincoln Southwest. On Thursday, in their season openers, Lincoln Pius will play at Lincoln East. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party postgame show on 93.7 The Ticket. Each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the team and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, sponsored by Southeast Community College and M Street Drive-In. 93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Another scorcher on the way for our Thursday. We'll see a heat advisory in effect this afternoon. We'll top out near 98. It will feel closer to 105 at times. South winds at around 15. We'll see a low tonight down to around 76. We will stay rather warm tomorrow with a high of 96. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Andy Neal of Cartridge World. We are not a big box store that sells everything and specializes in nothing. Cartridge World is your local expert when it comes to streamlining office printing and scanning. No big box can match our proven no-cost lease program. We customize solutions that supply you with multifunction printers and all the required service just for buying Cartridge World ink and toner at a 30% savings. Call for a no-cost consultation, 464-3455, or go online to cartridgeworld.com.
Need a better job? Looking for a career? Gaina Trucking and Excavating is what you're looking for. They are a rapidly growing company looking for a heavy mechanic. Gaina Trucking and Excavating offers a team culture with lots of benefits, including 401k, health, annual raises, paid vacation, holidays, and much more. It's a great career opportunity. Want to love what you do? Join the Gaina Trucking team. Apply online at www.gainatrucking.com. That's www.gainatrucking.com.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Thursday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. Interesting show so far. Fun. Interesting, Schaefer, if you're curious about the description.
Not as interesting as you yesterday, though.
Yeah, Jiminy Christmas.
Hey,
He was
by
steaming.
the way, I was really taken by it. I was. I appreciated your your level of humanity, which I was struck by. B, your concern for news and journalism, and where it's gone, and just I don't know. It was It was really very interesting.
I don't know. I mean,
it started my day very well. I thought it energized me, and I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, you can thank Pete Thamel.
No, I
just
think
need
you.
more things to fire up.
And I did start the show today by saying there is a big concern, and you share it. Just that one element of the story where he says Nebraska's under NCAA investigation for the pandemic workouts. That Schaefer, that's the kind of stuff that used to get people fired.
Right, yeah.
I would get called into an office on that one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it's erroneous. Like it's
really erroneous.
Yep.
And it affects people.
Well, it's bothersome in that a small amount of research, which you would think you would do before you're writing your column.
Before you write that sentence?
Well, before you even write your column of the 10 coaches that are going to get, or on the hot seat. But you got to do some background on it because, again, if you're covering 130 college football programs, chances are bits and pieces about 98 of them.
Yeah.
You feel good about probably 20.
Yeah.
And then there's 12 that you can just completely ignore.
Yeah.
So it's like you would think that he would go, okay, well, I got to look into this coverage a little bit more about, And then obviously he knew that there was a press conference that involves Trev Alberts and Scott Frost because, well, we saw in the story, Scott Frost was literally dragged to the press conference. I mean, there's actually marks in the floor. Skid marks where are he was like, he wouldn't move his feet. He was like a little kid. And he wouldn't move his feet. And you can actually see his Adidas sneaker leave this little red streak. But, so he read that coverage.
Yeah.
He didn't. He chose not to. He read the Brett McMurphy story. Which was
he
by
saw
the videos of Scott Frost's body language.
Yeah.
He saw the 5-minute presser. He wrote a story.
Yeah.
That's it.
But you can't.
It's fly by night. That's what it is.
But you can't write that a program is under NCAA investigation for something that it's not. You can't do that. That's not acceptable.
Too late. It already happened.
I haven't seen
I'm
anywhere
not
where
being-
he's changed his mind on that.
I'm not being an uppity journalist either. I'm not doing that. I'm not. That's not what this is.
You're asking for accuracy.
Yeah.
Which is sort of important.
Oh, yeah,
Which
and
is
I'm
kind
not-
of what set me off yesterday.
Right. And then you make errors. I make errors. but not like that. I mean, you can't. It's like saying somebody got arrested when they didn't. I mean, it's no, it is.
It is pretty.
It's pretty comparable to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've made some large errors in my life.
Yeah, me too. But I don't. I hope I never
you
make one
correct
like
them when it's pointed
Well,
out
that's
to
the other
you.
thing. Is there a correction coming here?
No. There's not going to be a single
If
correction.
there's an accountability to this, it's fine. I'll say, okay, well, he made a mistake and he owned up to it, but I don't think you're going to see it.
No, not with the tone of which he wrote that.
He should have a correction that says Nebraska's not, I was wrong. Nebraska's not under investigation for pandemic workouts. There's no investigation.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wait when I see it.
No.
By the way, that's Mike Schaefer with us. He's the host of Happer and Schaefer following this show. You can always call or text this show at 464-5685. Any questions you have for Schaefer, who's also a recruiting expert.
Yeah, where are we going here? We got a lot of ground to cover.
We do have a lot of ground to cover.
Is there that much ground to cover?
I want to ask you this.
Not like there's a
That's
game
things on my
coming up.
mind. Yeah.
I'm curious, Schaefer. I've been listening to all of our shows throughout this week, and I'm listening to Illinois writers coming on, and I've just they seem
Isn't it just Jeremy Warner?
not just him. There's There's two other guys have been on.
I feel bad because Jeremy's
He's
basically
everywhere.
just doing every
Yes.
Lincoln Omaha radio
Don't
show.
feel bad. That's good for 24/7.
Yeah, it's good for
Well,
him.
no,
It's
it
good
is, but-
exposure.
As someone who's also doing that on the Illinois side, it does cut into your time.
Are you? I'm sensing a lot of confidence from that team, that media in Illinois' chances of winning this football game. Are you surprised by that at all with the
No.
new coaching staff or not?
No, I mean, I think their points, and at least, and we're gonna have Jeremy Warner actually on at 10:30 here today on the Happer
I'm
and
gonna
Schaefer
listen to
show.
that. 10:30.
10:30, yeah,
Today.
And so I'm not surprised. I mean, you talk to them, and the big thing for them, they have a ton of returning players, and the strength of what Bielema had been known to do at Wisconsin, line it up and run behind a good offensive line with running backs that are capable of finding spots, picking spots, and running through people.
Yeah, they got that.
Illinois has two running backs they really like.
Mhm.
They're both back.
Mhm.
Illinois has an offensive line that they feel is pretty solid. It's not all back, but some of it is back.
It's veteran. They have 3 guys with 35 plus starts.
Right. And so in theory, they know what they're going to be. The big questions for Illinois, they don't know exactly what the Brett Bielema defense is going to be. There's also the wonder of he was a little bit different still stylistically at Arkansas than he was at Wisconsin. What is he going to be at Illinois? I almost said Indiana. I don't know why. So I think those are sort of the questions. And then I've said this, and Happer's heard it because we've had Jeremy Warner on several times during the recruiting hour run. There is no Big Ten program that views Adrian Martinez with more reverence than Illinois, because Adrian Martinez's best performances, the second half of 2019, the whole game of 2018, have come at the expense of Lovie Smith's
I'm trying
Tampa
to
2
think about
defense.
18. I'm trying to think about 18.
That was Ozigbo running wild on them, right?
Oh, that's right.
And Adrian
scored
played really well.
AJ
They had the
Bush.
throwback uniforms.
Super cold game.
AJ Bush was the quarterback for Illinois.
I think Michigan State was colder. but-
Okay.
It was.
Yeah,
cold.
a November
It was
game.
really cold.
Yeah, it was a
It was
November
really
game.
cold.
It was part of kind of that run of where they had beaten Minnesota, Bethune-Cookman, lost to Ohio State, beat Illinois, beat Michigan State, lose to Wisconsin or
Iowa,
not Wisconsin,
Iowa. Yep.
So that's a fan base that feels like Adrian Martinez is really, really dangerous. And so for them, every time I'm doing radio with Illinois, it's, why hasn't Adrian taken the next step? Or this is a guy that,
Right.
when we've seen him, he looks like he could be the best quarterback in the conference.
What do you say?
And it's basically, I think that 2018 game had a lot to do with what was around him. And for me, the biggest thing about this game is, does Nebraska's new pieces come in and help out right away? Or do they need several games to get there?
That's a good question.
The challenge, I think we all feel good about what Nebraska has around Adrian on offense, certainly more so than 2020. At least I do. And I don't want to speak for either of you, but I feel better about this offense than I have the last 2 years in terms of the pieces that surround Adrian Martinez.
I agree.
Do you?
I'm with it. Yes, I'm on that.
The
page.
question that comes with that, because you don't have returning production, they never played in a game together.
I know.
And so, as good as you might feel about individual pieces like Samori Toure or Marquise Stepp,
Xavier Betts.
Xavier Betts has played a little bit. But it's just that is a thing. I don't know how big it's going to be because those guys have played. They played in college football games. It's not like you're expecting two freshmen to just come in.
Right.
And that's also why I don't know that I think Gabe Ervin's going to be the guy right away on Saturday.
Who do you think?
I still think it's Marquise Stepp.
Okay, that's what Parker Gabriel believes too.
Interesting.
Right.
I don't know why I won't move off of that.
I think
you've
the
been
reason
consistent with
the
that,
reason I don't go with Stepp is because he's had to, what I would say, come from behind a little bit. I mean, he was out for all but a couple practices of the spring. We didn't know if he was going to be 100% to start August. Looks like he has been ish. But it's funny. I hear people pick Sevion Morrison as the starter.
Three guys.
You pick Ervin,
right?
Or you can pick Stepp. Nobody really knows.
Right,
It seems like.
and that's almost sort of fascinating because I can't think of a time in which no one really knew who Nebraska's running back was.
Of three
into
choices. Usually it's two. It's three.
And I think it's odd that they're as secretive as they have been
I
about
do
it.
think it's a little odd,
But I
actually.
just sort of chalk it up to the nature of this coaching staff to begin with.
It's sort of odd when you think about it.
Right.
Like Lubick.
I understand quarterback a little bit more than running back, specifically when you have three of them that you claim that you like a lot.
Okay, now that's an interesting. Let's stop right here. It is sort of interesting. Matt Lubick the other day said, "Yeah, we've closed it down to one. I'm not going to talk about the depth chart." Why can't you just say who the starting running back is? You should have interjected. Hey, Matt, come on.
I wasn't there. I was doing my show
Come
here.
on. Okay.
Come on, man.
Yeah, really? Are we really going to do this? You can't say who's going to be your starting running back.
So that's I would say in the last 24 hours, the idea of Nebraska having to start with several guys that haven't played in a game together has kind of actually clicked in for me in a way that maybe it hadn't before. But I still think that they're going into this game with quite a bit of momentum from a good offseason. I know that the last couple of weeks have been what they have been. Weird.
Well, yeah, but how does that affect Marquise Stepp?
Right, exactly. So within the team, it's, I think, a different thing than what it is within the fan base.
Yeah. And now,
which is sometimes true, but not always true.
I mean, my concern is a little bit is Frost. I mean, how does it affect the head coach?
Sure.
That's
and
he's the leader. He's
your concern should be more than just a little bit, because it's Scott Frost that ultimately is going to dictate where this team goes, because in my novice opinion, Scott Frost is what's been holding them back from at least getting to bowl.
Well, it's hard to win despite your head coach. So you don't want to be.
Well, you have to have so much talent, and I think Nebraska has more than what they've had, but I don't know that they have so much to make up for in-game mistakes.
Yeah, you really want to see Frost take the next step as a head coach, whatever that next step.
The problem is I don't know what that exactly is.
Well, that's
a
the
bowl
thing.
game. I know what
that.
it looks like.
Yeah.
But in the game, in the moment, for
In-game
me, I
management,
think it has more to do with will he commit to a running game?
Okay, that's one thing.
That's one big thing.
Are they willing
Absolutely.
to move away from the style of play that I think he has built his reputation on?
Yes, they've done it though. You can say that it within the structure of their offense, they can change. It's not radical.
They can do it from series to series or even one game. Will they do it for 4 games in a row? Will they do it for a season?
Right. That's what
Will they do it if it's not working right away?
Well, yeah.
So to me, if you come out and at the first 3 series against Illinois, then you're not able to just get the running game going with a running back.
With it.
Do they just scrap it?
Got to stay with it.
I think that's a real fear.
Right. Well, I think having a defense now, a lot of this is about a head coach's trust in his defense. A head coach who's an offensive play caller, if he trusts his defense, he might be more apt to be patient.
Yeah,
right?
and it could be a shift in his own philosophy in which he hasn't really had defenses. I would say 4 of his 5 years as a head coach, the defense has always kind of been the more questionable part for him mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even in 2020, I think he probably felt better about his offense or what they could be on offense with Wandale and Luke and Adrian than maybe that they were going to have a seismic jump on defense.
Schaefer, this is where I have to interject. I don't know. A lot of people didn't notice this. when he awarded the black shirts, it was on Nebraska's Twitter account, their Nebraska football Twitter account. His speech to the players, he said the mission Saturday has to start with the black shirts and the pipeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a seismic change from what their philosophy was 2018 and 2019.
That's the column
for
I
sure.
wrote for tomorrow. That comment should give Nebraska confidence if he sticks with it.
Right.
That he told his team it has to start with the black shirts and the pipeline. Okay.
Pave the way, baby.
Right.
Pave
Now
the way.
that to me is a shift. And also you couple that with what he said in Indy. In Indy,
He's most
said
excited about his offensive line.
that, but also he said, I've had to learn. He goes, there's certain things you couldn't learn until you got into the Big Ten. And he said the words, in the AAC, we could run 95 plays and it was pretty frantic and you could get away with a few bad plays here and there. In the Big Ten, you might run 60 plays. You have to be efficient.
You got to stay on schedule.
You got to stay on schedule. And then couple that with what Ryan Held said. Hey, 3 yards is a good play in this conference. It almost seemed like Held, sometimes with Held, when he's talking, he's like talking to Frost. Scott, 3 yards is a good play.
Hint.
Just
Scott, give our running backs the ball.
Do you see what I'm saying? 3 yards is a good play, Scott. Just stick with it.
Yeah, no,
All right?
Look, I've been in that mentality for
I know
a
you
while.
have. I know you have.
And
Yeah,
I hope that this is what they do.
I know. I think that's what people are looking for. The test will be is if it's not working right away. And Illinois is going to be revved up.
Yep.
That defense is going to be flying around early, and you might hand it to Marquise Stepp and get nothing, and then get nothing again. Punt's okay. Punt's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
better than a turnover.
I'm really curious. The other thing I'm really curious about, because I've mocked this now for 3 years, when Nebraska gets to 3rd and 7, are they willing to throw the football, or is it going to be Adrian Martinez on these quarterback draws?
Do you trust the receivers and tight end? You got tight ends,
You
man.
got the guys to throw to.
Right, I agree.
Yeah.
But
they haven't done
that's
that.
been a bread and butter for like when it's 3rd and 7. It almost feels like we'd rather take our chances with Adrian's leg than Adrian's arm.
You agree, and I agree, and I think Jake agrees. Now they have the tight ends and the bigger bodied receivers that you can throw on 3rd and 7.
Yeah.
Easier. It's easier now. You have a 6'3" slot, can find a seam. You have that big tight end, that 6'9" tight end, who we believe is an NFL caliber player. That 3rd and 7's made for a guy like that, right? Matchup. Get him in a
jump
matchup.
ball up there, yeah.
Yeah.
It comes
Am
down
I
to
wrong?
trust. So.
No, I'm not wrong at all. Your quarterback's got to be accurate in those downs. I think he can be.
Yeah. Adrian's in a good frame of mind.
But
there's
yeah,
no doubt
like
about
Schaefer
that.
said, don't just run the ball because that's
Well,
your first instinct if you're Adrian Martinez.
That's we talk about where you eliminate carries for Adrian, and that and the goal line
There's a
are
good
the
one.
2 big ones.
Yeah.
I mean the 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 6, and then
that goal line.
Just that goal line where you're just asking him to get beat up.
Well, and everything tightens up. That's where the pipeline. That's
But
where
that's
the
where
pipeline
Marquise
comes in.
Stepp is why he was out here.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that from the very beginning. The thing about Marquise Stepp, and I felt like they underutilized Mills in short
Absolutely.
yardage or at the goal line. I mean, how many freaking times did Wandale Robinson carry the ball inside the 10 last year?
Yeah,
Too
I know.
many.
I get it though. Wandale was good at finding creases. He was. He's tough. I can see
he's tough.
He's
But Mills
tougher than
can
hell.
take the blows better than Wandale.
Yeah, I'd have to look
in the trenches.
Yeah, yeah. I had never thought Ozigbo was really good in short yardage. Good running back, obviously, average 7 yards a carry. I think Mills is pretty. But yeah, Mills was a good short yardage runner. Yeah.
Well, I just remember after the Purdue game when they kept running the Jack Stoll play, which never really worked, but they ran it. Mills was asked if he ever gets frustrated that they're down there at the goal line, they won't give him the ball. He's like, yeah, I mean, this is what I do, and that was 2019, and it didn't feel like they learned from that moment in the Purdue game in 2019.
Now you got a big back and step.
I mean,
Give him the ball.
you know one thing about Mills. He'll put his life into getting to the goal line.
That Rutgers game was a great way for him to go out because it was basically like, this is what I could have done.
Right. His entire being revolves around getting to the goal line.
Here's a text from Doc. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on this regarding the secret nature of the staff this year. Again, they've been secret for a long time, but they've been secret, especially this year. He says the fact that this coaching staff is so secretive should be further proof that they're not confident in what they have. Do you agree or disagree with
I
that
don't.
statement?
Doc,
Doc is cynical.
could it be more about the fact that Illinois is really playing that up, that we have the element of surprise, and that's our advantage? And Nebraska's response is, "Oh, okay, well, we got some surprises too."
I just think it's who Nebraska is. I mean, they've done
you don't buy what
things
I'm
like
saying.
this for a couple years.
I'm surprised that like Dawson has gotten into that act on special teams. We won't even talk about who the return men are.
Starts with your head coach.
Well,
and he's that guy.
No names at all.
And I mean,
no
they,
idea.
They've been that program for a couple years. I mean, to the point where travel rosters wouldn't get handed out before games.
That's true.
So it's just, if that's who you are, that's who you are.
It's kind of Belichickian, right?
Without
Very-
the wins.
Well, yeah, the wins got to come.
Right.
We didn't ask you about this before we get to break. The captains were announced over the weekend, and Damian Daniels was the fourth choice. You had Cam Taylor-Britt, Austin Allen, Adrian Martinez. No JoJo Doman, no Ben Stille. Your level of surprise and your thoughts in general on his naming and those other guys not being named to captains.
I think it's great. I wrote about this. We talked with some defensive linemen, Ty Robinson specifically, about this out in the hallway on Monday. But Damian Daniels, I think the best thing that ever happened to him, and maybe the best thing that happened for this team, and here's a simple column if he wants it.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Keep notes.
Was the bringing in Darian Daniels in 2019. What Darian Daniels did for that team and for the defensive line and the level of professionalism that he brought to that group, you see people reference him 2 years later, or you hear people reference him 2 years later. You hear them talk about like what he kind of meant to that group, especially on that defensive line. Ty Robinson talked about how when he first got here, he was just watching Damian follow his brother around and soak everything up. And then, Damian was always kind of a talkative guy, but when Darian was around, he was quiet. He was listening. Darian held the room. Darian held the position room. Ben Stille learned from Darian. Casey Rogers learned from Darian. All these guys, it all comes back to their mentality, the way they want to play. I think Tony Tuioti was a part of it, but I think Darian Daniels has a large effect on that defensive line, and it trickled out to that defense as a whole. I mean, they were a mess in 2017 and 2018.
Yes, they were.
He got there in 2019. They got better. It helped. You had the Davis twins.
Yeah.
Carlos and Khalil. Khalil had a fantastic season. But right there in the middle of that line for every play that he was needed was Darian Daniels.
Yep.
And I think he brought a level of professionalism that came from playing at Oklahoma State. Not that Oklahoma State is this renowned great program, but he carried himself in such a way, and he was a good leader.
Wasn't he a captain at Oklahoma State?
That's a good question.
He might have been.
I think he was. Check it out. Jake, check that out.
It's we've covered these teams. I've covered this team for a while. You covered it for a lot longer. When guys reference people that are no longer there, and it's 2 years back, and they're talking about where they learned leadership or who kind of brought them along, and his name just keeps coming up, and it kept coming up last year, and it keeps coming up this year. And I think Damian learned a lot from him.
There are guys that you cover that don't really seem like kids, and he seemed like he was a grown man when you were talking to him. Now he was a senior, and at that point they are sort of grown men.
23 years old.
23.
Yeah,
but it's all of 23.
Yep.
I mean, he was ready. He was ready for the world. It seemed like.
I think, not to take anything away from the guys that came before him, but it's one of those things when someone comes into a room and he sets a standard, and it's like, we're going to do it like this. And here's where I'm at every single day. And if you're below me, you're not to the standard. They didn't have that in the defensive. The defensive line had been kind of a mess for a couple years, 2017, 2018. I mean, you had players that you liked, but I don't know that there was I think there was a void of leadership. Mick Stoltenberg's a great guy. I don't know that he got people to march to the same drum, and I think he struggled with his own health.
Well, and I was just going to say,
he wasn't practicing half the week in order to play a game.
Right.
I mean, so
that compromises a guy, and it's not his fault.
Right.
But if you're hurt, you're worried about that.
But when you're there every single day, whether it's watching film or you're there, coaching guys up, and I just think Darian Daniels' effect has lasted a lot longer than what I've seen from other players. Insert Damian Daniels, who wants to be a leader. I mean, he's a talkative guy. Teammates love him because he's someone that's always around. He's boisterous, and he learned from Darian, and I think that kind of shows sort of where that ascension comes
I'll tell you something, though. What's Mario Verduzco always say? Performance is leadership. Leadership is performance. If I'll tell you what would be gigantic for Nebraska is if Damian Daniels becomes like an all-conference caliber interior player.
Yeah.
I mean, that
if he builds on last year, he's going to be close.
Yeah. I mean,
though I'll say this, the game that it's funny that they start with Illinois because the game where he looked the worst, the game where that defensive line looked the worst, they got absolutely blown off the ball. And I mean, they know it. Ty Robinson knows it. They talked about it. This is a huge right away, right off the bat, strength on strength. Everything in this game comes down to me, the defensive line versus Illinois' offensive line.
They really see that's where I believe that a game like last year actually can help Nebraska's mentality because those guys, that particular group has to say, guys, this can't happen again.
Yeah, and they got to be locked in.
Right. And maybe more locked in than they would be for Illinois.
Right.
I mean,
well, it's the first game of the season.
Well, but still,
I hope
no. But if you were playing Buffalo the first game, you think they would have that mentality. They'd never faced them. They didn't get beat by Buffalo.
No,
they got beat by Illinois.
Nebraska's front
That's
seven
what I'm saying.
And want some serious revenge.
It's Nebraska's front seven versus Illinois' offensive line is going to dictate where this game goes. Because if you slow down,
totally agree with that.
If you slow down Illinois' rushing attack,
they don't have the quarterback and receivers to beat you.
They don't. And Nebraska's secondary, I think, is maybe better than their front seven.
Oh,
and so then you're playing into the strength of the game. On top of it, if Nebraska gets any sort of offense and lead and then can play in front where you get to run the ball
and they have to throw.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing you're trying to get to. And I know that that's not like a super, it's a very obvious game plan, but that's where their strength is. That's what you have to take away.
Yeah. If Illinois comes out and they're getting 4 and 5 yards of carry early, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough.
Well, and then because that just opens up Brandon Peters for play action, and that's where Nebraska, like when he was successful in Lincoln, they were hitting easy throws off of play action.
No,
you had to stack the box to try to slow him down.
Please, no punters running for first downs on Saturday for Illinois. Please.
What will you do? What will you do? What will the Twitter response be?
Well, that's Sorensen Watch is in effect.
Oh, man, I forgot it's been a while. We haven't had it.
Are we going to do Sorensen Watch?
We got to do it.
It's back. If you have any questions for Mike Schaefer, please call or text 464-5685. More next on Early Break of the Ticket.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Another scorcher on the way for our Thursday. We'll see a heat advisory in effect this afternoon. We'll top out near 98. It will feel closer to 105 at times. South winds at around 15. We'll see a low tonight down to around 76. We will stay rather warm tomorrow with a high of 96. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air's motto is our family serving yours. That starts with how we hire. We go through an extensive interview process to really get to know you and show you who we are. We want to help you build a great career, be challenged, have fun, and bring home an excellent weekly paycheck. We offer competitive wages with benefits, including a day off for your birthday. Apply to be a part of the John Henry's family at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
At Gaina Trucking, you can make a better income, a better career, and a better life. Gaina Trucking and Excavating is now hiring Class A and B CDL drivers. Careers include amazing benefits with a 401k, healthcare, paid vacations, annual raises, and so much more. 40-hour work weeks guaranteed year-round. To be a part of this amazing career opportunity, apply online at GainaTrucking.com. Don't miss our team culture, benefits, and a career that will give you a better life. Be better at Gaina Trucking and Excavating.
Where will you go next? The Southeast Community College Fall 2021 Continuing Education schedule of classes is arriving in your mailbox. Take a class in leadership and professional development, like real estate license prep, business courses like accounting and financials, or building a business plan, or 19 pages of personal interest classes like dog grooming, making jewelry, or even charcuterie. The entire schedule is online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC. your path to possible.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at koppelcars.com. I found a vehicle I liked, then I drove that money-saving mile to Koppel in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at koppelcars.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Have you been to Barn Wood and Leather, that new furniture store in Lincoln? It's a whole new look. If you like country, you'll love Barn Wood and Leather. It's country with a kick. Rustic, yet contemporary, and crafted in America from historic reclaimed barnwood and the finest leather. Create your own one-of-a-kind look for a room or your whole home. Come see for yourself at Barn Wood and Leather, South 14th and Dahlberg. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
This
Well, good morning, little brother.
is Early Break with Zip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You can always watch the show on the Sauter-Heyman Jewelers video stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, or call or text us 464-5685. Again, the show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking. Mike Schaefer in for the full 7 o'clock hour as he is every Thursday. Some of the best conversations we have during the breaks, I want to bring that one to air. You guys were talking about the linebacking core. Schaefer, you had some pretty...
I'm sorry. I'm currently going through Sorensen Watch.
Sorensen Watch. What do you got?
I mean, you're
give me an example.
Some of these we're gonna have to go off air with, but
give the ones that are appropriate on the air, please.
Did you have some inappropriate tweets?
Very likely.
So here's the Sorensen Watch for October 20th, 2018, which
3
is
years ago.
Nebraska's win against Minnesota.
Digging deep.
And it's basically Jake's tweet was, "How good has Adrian Martinez been today? Phenomenal." I went, Sorensen Watch, feet up with a cigar.
Yeah, it probably was.
Did you say that?
That's about right.
Here is
Sorensen Watch.
Here's the same game.
Oh boy.
October 28th or October 20th, 2018.
Okay.
Jake Sorensen. Amazing that a 28-0 lead isn't safe. Almost all the way blown midway through the third quarter. Capital it, period, is, period, never, period, easy, period, hashtag Huskers. Sorensen Watch.
What is it?
Simmering.
Well, this is after the first one.
Yeah.
This cigar has gone out in my mouth.
It is never easy.
Jake. Okay. Anything else that's embarrassing or good on that?
There's some good Dolphins ones in
Oh,
here.
yeah. There's plenty of Dolphins.
We'll talk about these during the break.
Plenty of Dolphins ones in there.
I think I might go on a Sorensen Watch. I'm always a little frantic during the game.
You don't know, so please don't. For the sake of your own self, don't do that.
March 24th, 2019.
Okay. March 24th.
2 years ago. Was this basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Jake Sorensen, prepare yourself at Husker Extra Sip. And then Sorensen Watch, constantly refreshing Tim Miles' Wikipedia page. That would have been the day that Nebraska moved on from its then basketball head coach.
Did you say prepare? Did you write to me, prepare yourself, Husker Extra Sip?
That's all it said. Was it? That was it?
I think there's a photo in there.
Oh, is a photo?
Oh,
Probably.
yeah. There's an old tweet that's no longer available.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Because the tweet was deleted.
Oh. Well.
I'm doing it. If I don't do
You're
it
not
during
doing
the
a
game,
Sorensen Watch.
If I don't do it during the game, I'll check your Twitter after the game.
That's fine.
I'm trying to
That's
see
fine.
what
Sorensen
the most
Watch.
popular Sorensen Watch was, but
There's been a lot of Sorensen Watches by
You're
Mike
gonna
Schaefer done.
Hey, now Jake,
dozens
Jake,
of them. I didn't realize.
Jake.
Oh, you
that I
did a lot of
that
them.
many.
to what extent?
For
will-
like 2 years.
hold on. To what extent will you be on the edge at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday?
I'll be all the way.
Are you going to get a quick 9 in somewhere?
No, we got
I don't think
pregame
that would
show.
be a good
Pregame
9.
show in the morning. Can't get a quick 9 in.
Yeah, but you could. I think you and I are working together on the pregame
All right,
show.
what time
for
are we
home
on
games.
it? Well,
home
I could
games.
play my my 9-hole golf course they live on. I could do that, I guess, in the morning. Could do that.
Will you be pacing?
Yes. Go guaranteed pacing. Will I be able to sit down? I don't know.
How you're?
I feel like pacing is really the only way to enjoy your team playing. As
Yeah.
someone, when either Cleveland's in a playoff game or the Vikings are in a key NFL game, I am not sitting.
Right.
Oh yeah, you want to see pacing?
I am not quiet and I am not sitting, and therefore I need to be in my basement where no other soul can be around.
My pacing elevates about a million times for the Husker games for Dolphins games. It's nonstop pacing. If I'm not pacing, if you see me like at a sports bar, I'm like just
Nails
about
chewing.
to blow up. Oh yeah.
I can't.
My fingers are bleeding by the end of that because I've chewed all the way through my nails and it's disturbing. I get really nervous.
Now I got to tell you, I did have that. You know, you guys know I don't follow a team, but when LeBron was in Cleveland, I followed that closely, and I can associate with what you're talking about. I would I would always tell Trix. She'd always say, why don't you sit down? I would stand. I stood the whole game.
Yeah.
And oftentimes I'd go without the shirt. I'd say I'm not shirt's
Wait, you
off.
took your shirt off during the game?
Yeah.
Was
it felt like that was the move.
Like what was this right away? It was like during the game you just got so nervous or so into it you took your shirt
and
off.
there was getting to the point where I would lose sleep after a loss. Like I couldn't go to sleep. Reading Twitter, reading the media from Cleveland, getting mad at them, thinking about sending nasty messages to them. I was full in.
Getting after the Cleveland Plain
Wait,
Dealer.
sending messages to who? The Cavaliers organization?
There was a columnist at the Cleveland
columnist.
Plain Dealer in particular that used to roil me. And yeah, I'd lose sleep.
I miss
over
those days, man.
I know.
Skip was taking off his shirt because he couldn't take it
I'd
anymore.
scare the dog and all
Scare
that.
the
Bullet
bullet.
would be like, oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
It's
This
incredible
level of
how
passion.
like pets just sort of know.
Oh, they're amazing that way.
Like Cleveland hadn't even blown the lead in October of 2020 against the Yankees in game 2.
Mhm.
And Slider was already hiding in the corner. And people in my house were sleeping, so I couldn't be loud. So I just had to stand. But there was so much tension from me
They
that
feel
Slider
that.
just got as far away under a table
They're
in the corner.
Dogs are amazing that way. They are amazing. They pick up on your
I wish
moves.
I could see this video of him like slowly. Okay, I'm gonna get the heck out of here.
Yeah.
Dad's getting.
I mean, like Bullet
crazy.
knows when I'm getting ready to leave. I mean, he starts moping around. I'm like, how do you even know I'm getting ready to leave?
Yeah.
But he knows. They know when you're getting ready.
Okay, Thomas says pacing for the Dolphins, shirtless pacing for LeBron. You guys are losers.
Well, I mean, I'm not.
What do you think sports fans are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
it's
not
hard.
rational.
No, it's irrational, man. By the way, Scott wants me to tell him the game day broadcast schedule. I'm glad you asked, Scott. If you're tuning in for Saturdays, this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a high school Saturday show. I believe it's at so Husker Online show 7 to 8. 8 to 9 is the high school Saturday show. We're going to do a 3-hour pregame show this week. It's usually going to be 2.5 hours. This week, it's 3 hours, 9 to noon.
9 to noon.
Then we'll have the Husker After Party postgame show immediately after the clock hits 0 to end the game for an hour and a half.
in studio.
That's in studio. And then we go to Tanner's with Jay Foreman, and DP will be out there for a couple hours following the after party post game show. And so you have 3.5 hours of post game.
That's blanking
on Saturday.
coverage.
Yep,
That's
that's a
some-
lot of stuff.
That's some Deion Sanders
There we go.
coverage.
All right, we're late as usual, so it's time to get to the game show. I like to talk about dogs, so pacing and
the
shirtless.
linebacker conversation real quickly can be summed up like this.
Okay.
Sybil and I are both very interested to see what Nick Henrich is.
Okay.
Because the talk has been really good. And if Nick Henrich is as good as the talk, Nebraska is going to have a pretty good run defense.
Yep.
All right, that's a good wrap up there. Let's play the game show. Give us a call right now at 464-5685. Your chance to win a business box of bagels to Bagels and Joe, as it has been for many weeks. It's Throwback Thursday to a specific time and place. 2008 Nebraska football. I think you guys will be locked in for that, right?
Yeah.
2008. We did 06, I think, last week. We're doing 2008 Nebraska
first
football.
season.
That's right. Bo's first season as head coach. Think you know this? 08 Nebraska football. 464-5685. Shut up. Sipple starts. Once the computer stops freezing. It's going to start momentarily. Trying to lag time. The computer has frozen. I can't play the game show music until the music starts. Computer's frozen. It's great radio right now.
That's unfortunate. It has happened in other situations.
Don't do this to me. All right. Well, I'll play it when it gets going. 464-5685.
Just go right to the game show,
Yeah,
Jake.
you want to do that? The music will happen if it happens.
Well, you haven't won a game this week.
All right, here we go. I got it.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
All right, 464-5685. Call the Dicktown Sip and Trivia and shut up, Sipple. You feel pretty good about 08, I think. The 08 Nebraska football team. I know Schaefer feels great about this.
I feel better about the offense than the defense.
No, I actually echo that.
Schaefer's locked in for sure here. Don, how do you feel about the 2008 Nebraska football team?
Not the best, but, gotta give it a try and see what we can do.
All right,
Absolutely.
Don.
Yes, you do.
You're facing a guy who's 25 games under 500, 53-78, okay?
Hey, you're not at Orioles level yet.
No.
And you've lost 4 straight games. You're 0-3 on the week.
I'm not the Padres pitching coach either. He just got whacked.
Got canned.
Yeah.
He got canned.
Larry Rothschild.
All right. Schaefer is a lifeline for SIP for one question. As always, Don, first question goes to you. Who led the 2008 Nebraska football team in receiving yards with 941 yards?
Oh. I'm going to go with – that's going to be a wrong answer, but I'm going to go with Quincy Enunwa.
Quincy Enunwa.
Not terrible, guys.
He's a little later, right? A little later than that.
Yeah.
I'm going straight to the lifeline. I need a point.
I mean, I would be stunned if we're not talking about Nate Swift here.
We are talking about Nate Swift here, So 1-0 lead for you.
Okay, let's get
Schaefer
to
is
2-0.
out.
Let's get to 2-0.
So it's all by yourself now.
Right.
Here's your first question for a 2-0 lead. Who led the 2008 Nebraska football team in rushing yards with 803 yards? 803. Leading.
That's got to be Marlon Lucky, right?
Marlon Lucky was second that year in rushing yards. Second to this running back. Don, do you want that question or not?
I'm not confident, so I got to pass.
Okay,
what was it? Don't tell me it was Castile.
No, it was Roy Halou.
It was Roy
Halou.
I didn't realize he led the team.
He
I
was
knew he
there.
played that
Okay.
year.
I mean,
I thought it was Lucky like you.
Lucky was second, just barely behind him. So it's kind of a tough question, but Halou was first. All right, to tie this up, Don, your last question, down 1-0. What tight end was second in receiving touchdowns on the entire team with 6 in 2008?
Oh. I'm getting all my years mixed up, and the only name that's popping in my head is Matt Herrion.
Matt Herrion was a little bit earlier than 2008.
What's the score right now?
You're up 1-0.
Okay.
You can pass on this without giving your point.
That's correct. Matt Schaefer's got it.
Oh, this is tempting.
If you missed
Say
this,
it again.
what tight end was second in receiving touchdowns on the entire team with 6 in 2008?
All right. I guess I'm passing. Do not tell me it's Kyler Reed.
It was not Kyler Reed. It was Schaefer.
Kirkwood's own Mike McNeil.
Mike McNeil was the correct answer. So good pass and good job, Schaefer. You had it. So this is, again, to you for the win. If you missed this, Don can steal this and go to the tiebreaker. Ndamukong Suh led Nebraska in sacks in 2008 with 7.5. Who was second with 5.5 sacks on that team? This is to you. Schaefer cannot help. Don will get this if you do not get this right. Or he'll go for it at least. Second in sacks behind Ndamukong Suh, 7.5. This person had 5.5 sacks.
Really?
Yep. This is for the win. Who was that player?
Was it Pierre Allen?
Pierre Allen was third with 5 sacks. This person had a half sack one. Was good. That was a good guess. Don, you got to get this one right to move on to the tiebreaker. Who was that player with 5.5 sacks in 2008?
Well, we're going to go down swinging, and I'm going to go with. I'll go with 6, but I'm wrong.
Crick.
Was that what you said?
Yes.
Jerry Crick?
Jerry Crick.
We have a win on the week. Schaefer, you got a guess for that one?
Barry Turner.
Zach Potter. Zach Potter.
Is Turner still there?
I think he was.
I think he was.
Was
but
Turner still
I don't
there?
know, but Pierre Allen was third
I
with
thought
5.
Barry Turner was the other defensive end opposite of Pierre Allen in 2009.
Yeah, 09, I
Okay,
believe.
okay.
Good
So I think
try,
he was still
Dom.
there,
We'll get you a bagel and coffee, but calling down the road.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, good
stuff.
job.
So Schaefer
Thanks,
has won a
Shafe.
game.
I
Thank
feel like
you,
I should
Shay.
have known the Jack Potter one.
Yeah.
Hey, Pierre Allen, good guess. He was third.
Potter. It's really difficult because he played some tight end too.
Well, he didn't play tight end till the NFL.
That's right.
He never played tight end in
No.
Nebraska?
No,
No, he did not.
Never played tight end at all?
Nope.
100%
Defense
sure on
that whole time.
I thought he played early in his career at tight end a little bit. Did he
I
practice
don't
there?
think
We had a real battle between the two of us for which one was worse in Spanish 101. So
Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was worse?
Me.
Okay, well,
We were
Spanish.
way to go. Way to
the
go,
teacher
Zach.
the teacher also assigned us to be partners because that seems fair.
Oh.
The two people that are by far the lowest in the class.
Well.
Yeah, it should be partners.
Okay, I got the win. That's
You
the
got a W.
yeah. 54.
Wasn't pretty. Mike Schaefer had a lot of those questions right.
I'll
3
take
of the
every
4.
win I can get right now.
We'll wrap things up next with the spillover on early break on the ticket. Last thing before break, guys. Hey, I've been telling you for a long time about my friends at Craft Axe Throwing. Well, they've got some special things for the fall, including College Day on September 1st. They're relaunching College Night for the new year. That's $15 an hour with a valid college ID every Wednesday, plus National Girls Night September 22nd and Glow Throw coming up. That's a date to be determined still in September, but probably in the middle of the month. We'll give you updates as that comes along. Don't forget, league starting September 14th. Signups are live on the website at craftaxethrowing.com. And also, a chance to be on ESPN. They've got around 10 people within the company who will be throwing for the World Championships coming up in September. Again, it's all at Craft Axe Throwing. Make sure to always call to rent a lane at 402-802-9696 or go online to craftaxethrowing.com. That's all at Craft Axe Throwing. New specials for the fall at 18th and N in Lincoln.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is now hiring for all shifts. They're a 24/7 facility and a clean environment to work in. There's potential to earn up to $25.25 per hour with opportunities for overtime. They also offer a retention bonus as new team members are eligible for a bonus as high as $1,000. Come be a part of the Tractor Supply team. Apply today at www.tractorsupply.jobs.
Dancing at weddings, walking the dog, playing with grandchildren. These are the small moments that make life great. They're also the moments that chronic pain steals from us. Don't let chronic pain stop you or a loved one from living life. At MD Pain, we wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. We offer the most up-to-date treatments from Nebraska's leading physicians. Don't let pain stand in your way. Call MD Pain.
Tailgating is back, and Sartor Heyman Jewelers is offering a deal that'll really fire you up. Receive a free Traeger grill with a purchase of $2,500 or more. Take advantage of interest-free financing with no money down. Sartor Heyman has dazzling jewelry in every price range, so buy her the diamonds she's been dreaming of and get instantly rewarded with a free Traeger grill. Offer ends soon, so hurry in and get them while they're hot. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Where will you go next? The Southeast Community College Fall 2021 Continuing Education schedule of classes is arriving in your mailbox. Take a class in leadership and professional development, like real estate license prep, business courses like accounting and financials, or building a business plan, or 19 pages of personal interest classes like dog grooming, making jewelry, or even charcuterie. The entire schedule is online at southeast.edu/continuing, SCC. your path to possible.
At Gaina Trucking, you can make a better income, a better career, and a better life. Gaina Trucking and Excavating is now hiring Class A and B CDL drivers. Careers include amazing benefits with a 401k, healthcare, paid vacations, annual raises, and so much more. 40-hour work weeks guaranteed year-round. To be a part of this amazing career opportunity, apply online at GainaTrucking.com. Don't miss our team culture, benefits, and a career that will give you a better life. Be better at Gaina Trucking and Excavating.
Century Electric is now hiring for experienced licensed electricians. This position will serve around the Lincoln area on both commercial and residential jobs. Century Electric is well established with 40 years in operation. It offers a substantial hiring bonus as well as tons of benefits. For more information or to apply, go online to centuryelectric.com and click the careers tab or call them at 402-467-5550. Come work for a great company today with Century Electric, whose commitment is always to their customers.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket, sponsored by Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, Tractor Supply Distribution Center, T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, Planet Fitness, Barnwood and Leather, and Vitalize Health.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is kind of fun. The spillover is in session. Connor Happer joins us. Mike Schaefer's been with for the full hour so far. Sipple is across the glass now.
Yeah.
How's
I like it
going
over
here?
here.
You like it?
Well, we should consider doing our show like this.
We did for a stretch.
Yeah.
For back in the start of COVID, back in 2020.
How you doing over there?
Well, you were just here, literally 2-3 minutes ago or so.
How you doing?
It's good.
Yeah.
Doing well. Happer joins the fold. How are you doing?
Hello.
Happer?
I am good.
You got high school football tonight.
Yes,
Who you got, Happer? Who you got tonight?
Easton Pius.
Where's this at?
It is at beautiful Seacrest Field.
Who's the favorite?
I would
Ooh,
say
yeah.
East by quite a bit.
Okay.
Quite a bit.
And do you have football tomorrow night too?
I do.
What's that?
Norris and Elkhorn.
At
Norris.
Wow.
Are these highly ranked teams?
These are on Friday, yes, in Class B.
And what, how high?
They're both top 10
They're both
teams.
top 10. Yeah.
They both have to replace quite a bit, though.
Mhm.
Elkhorn obviously won the state title. Norris lost James Carney and a couple other seniors that were pretty valuable for their team as well.
Mhm.
But they have Cooper Hausman coming back.
They sure do.
All right, so you get that tonight and tomorrow on the ticket. Happer on the call. So Sipple and I did our official predictions for the season, our record.
Oh,
have
we
you
haven't done
guys
that.
done that
Should
yet?
we do that today?
Hey, we can do that today. We can do it tomorrow.
Here's what we got.
We can't do it Saturday.
Sip went 8-4, and I went 7-5. Do you guys believe you'll be in a similar ballpark to that?
Extremely similar. Yes.
I will agree with one of you.
It's a safe play.
I will also agree with one of you.
It's I'm a shaky 8-4. Shaky. It's sort of dependent. They have to beat both Michigan State and Northwestern
What
in my
bumped you from 7 to 8?
Well, I'm predicting they'll beat both Michigan State and Northwestern, but it's really tenuous.
So your 4 losses, 2 of them are Ohio State and
Oklahoma.
Wisconsin is one of them.
3.
So then I am projecting that you think they beat Iowa but lose to Michigan.
Who's
No, you have
Lose to Minnesota.
Lose to Minnesota.
Yes, resoundingly.
So wins over Michigan and Iowa.
I agree with
correct.
you, Sipple.
Yeah. So a game I feel very confident in, unfortunately, is Minnesota beating Nebraska.
I do too.
That's my Big Ten.
The only
West
thing we were
winner.
different on, I had Northwestern beating Nebraska, and Northwestern, he has Nebraska beating Northwestern.
So I got Nebraska.
I think I have largely the same as Jake, to be honest. I have Nebraska losing to. I haven't gone through and filled it out, but in my head, I kind of have them losing one of those Michigan State, Northwestern. I think Northwestern's the more likely of the two. I have them at 7-5, and that's a bump up. I started the offseason at 6-6, I think, or finished the spring at 6-6, and have moved it up a little bit. And I mean, I can definitely see the path to 8-4. I just don't know that I trust that they'll be that consistent week in and week out.
Trust is the issue. Trust.
We also have a lot of trepidation about the Michigan State game. It's following the Oklahoma game. It's back-to-back road games. It's supposed to be, on paper, one of the easier games because of where they're predicted. But we both just don't feel very good about that game. Are you guys same?
I think they'll probably. Well, I guess I don't know. We'll see what happens with Michigan State. There's a lot of question about them. I guess at this point, I think they're probably slight favorites.
Listen,
Nebraska.
Lansing is a strange place. I mean, it's not. It is. It's not.
I've been there. I agree with them.
Yeah, it's not like really a hard venue. Don't hear that. It's just an odd road trip, and it's I'll just say it this way. It's kind of blah. You don't really revved up. You don't get revved up to go to Lansing.
My one experience was a 2012 Nebraska-Michigan State game.
That was not so blah.
One of my favorite games that I've ever covered.
Uh-huh.
But that also coincides with the night before I let loose a little too much.
Oh, boy. You did.
And was horrendously hungover the next day, and really needed the first half to kind of pull myself together.
Yeah.
And wonder if this is where I belonged in life. And then in the second half, I almost got ran over by Jamal Turner when he cut the game when he touched us. So
you pulled yourself together, though.
Yeah,
great job, Schaefer.
It took a lot of want to and effort to make it happen. But it was bad. It turns out, and this isn't a thing that they would do in COVID anymore. Turns out in East Lansing, you can find a bar called Crunchies where they would just sell you a whole janitor's bucket full of beer and little cups to drink out of, and myself and some others. Yeah.
Wow. Fun.
Yeah.
Sounds
Labatt's
awesome.
Blue.
Crunchies.
It's Canadian beer on top.
Yes, very Canadian.
I like Labatt's
Blue.
Blue.
Did you visit a Tim Hortons?
No, I never did.
There's some of those up there.
I've never been to a Tim Hortons.
That's a Canadian like breakfast type of deal. Nebraska currently 6-point favorites against Michigan State.
Oh, 6 points.
So slightly less than Illinois.
Interesting. So Illinois, is it still at 7?
Yeah.
Nebraska's 7-point favorite.
It is holding steady in the neighborhood of 7.
Sounds like more of the money is going to Illinois on that. From what
Well, it came down to 9.5.
Is that not?
Oh yeah, what is it? The sharps are going on Illinois. And
Well,
the
let's see where the
public
juice
overwhelmingly
is.
Nebraska.
Let's see where the juice is. Yes. Nebraska. Oh, it is down to 6.5, according to what I have, but 110 even on both sides. So no juice.
Okay.
Even.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Tapper.
It's time for the 2-minute drill.
Hot round! Red 7! Red 7! Hot round! Down! Set! Hut!
Schaefer, you were pissed at Pete Thamel yesterday. Anything that's fired you up today that you're pissed off about?
Pete.
Yeah, pissed at Pete.
Not really. I had a pretty calm night last night. Nothing too big. So I came in here, good attitude.
You did.
Good mood.
Yeah.
Good Thursday. I'm ready for this game. I want to skip Friday. No offense to Friday, but
don't offend Friday.
Let's just get this over with. I'm ready for this game.
Don't offend Friday.
Let's be careful with that.
Yeah, don't talk about
Friday's been very good to us. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to happen.
Yeah.
Steve. It's not like I have the power to just make it go away.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Happer and Schaefer is next for Steve Sipple. I'm Jake Sorensen. See you.
Bagels and Joe is ready for the summer with